Alright, gotta get it warmed up. Two little washing machines. Yeah. Alright, I'm limber. What's up, my pilots? Pilots? No, try it again. Do it again. Do it again. Not good enough. Unacceptable! What's up, my pilots? angryponcho here, and we're back playing Crash Team Racing. In this episode, we are going to continue with the Relic races, and if I get my way, we're going to get all of the remaining relics, which will mean the next episode will be the all-time finale, in which we will have our final boss race. There we go. Unfortunately, this episode starts with the most boring track in the game, Coco Park. Which, let's be honest, it really is the most boring track in the game. Oh, I really wanted to hit that box with the 2 on it, but it didn't work out. I came across the track in a way that was completely unnatural for a race, and that was a mistake. So how is everybody this fine? Was it Monday evening? What am I doing? Making a video on Monday evening? I'm staving off the inevitable depression that comes with Monday. It's just the Monday blues, man. Every Monday, start of another long week. Things actually aren't that bad. I mean, life goes on. You know what I'm saying? Alright, this time I gotta hit some boxes for real. And the next lap, I'm gonna take a totally cattywampus approach. Just so I can get... That was wasting more time than it was worth. Oh well. I'm gonna take a totally cattywampus approach to try and get those remaining 2 boxes. See if I can get all of them. I might go for the 3 on this lap. There you go. A couple power slides, and it's like you weren't even in the grass in the first place. Okay, now I need a little bit of speed. Okay, a little more speed than that. Oh, there's more boxes over there. What am I doing? I'm going all crook ways. Doesn't even matter. I'm pretty sure I could do the last lap by itself in less than the remaining time, even without any boxes, so it shouldn't be a problem. I never finished what I was saying about Mondays, which is that it's just every week. When you work a full-time job, or you're going to school 5 days a week, Mondays are a hard day, man. Everybody seems to talk about Wednesdays, like it's because it's the middle of the week, it's somehow the most difficult, because you're the farthest from the weekend. But that's just silly. Time only goes one direction. I mean, sure, Wednesday is like the middle of the week per se, and so I guess in terms of, you know, Euclidean distance, yeah, it's the farthest from the weekend on average because you got 2 days on either side. Whereas Monday, you just had a weekend yesterday. What do you need one for now? You know, you should have enough. You should be stocked up. That's stupid because, you know, it's not like you can go from Monday back onto Sunday. And I clicked retry, didn't I? So, really, if you want to go the farthest from a weekend, considering time only goes forwards, Monday is the farthest from the weekend. Therefore, definitely the hardest day of the week. Especially if you really like your weekends. It's just one of those time phenomena, like the fact that the speed, or at least our
Great. You heard a relic.
Our perceived speed of time's passage varies based on what you're doing and how much you're enjoying it. You know, the old adage, time flies when you're having fun. I really wish MythBusters would test that. I've been watching a lot of MythBusters lately, and I feel like that's an adage they could totally do. They could just put people in a room with no clocks, no way to tell how much time has passed, and ask them to, the test subjects, to alert, to sort of determine just by their internal sense of time to try and tell when it's been exactly an hour. Or exactly 20 minutes, whatever a reasonable, testable amount of time would be. And for one of the groups, you have them do something really fun. Just great time, I mean, having a blast, enjoying themselves. I don't know what you'd have to do. You'd have to know the person in advance to be able to pick something that you know they would enjoy. But, I think that, and then, that would be your experimental group. to see if time really does fly when you're having fun. And then you have a group that did something that was time-consuming, but not particularly entertaining, like maybe, I don't know, counting something or reading a book, perhaps, where you kind of just lose track, where time goes by, but you're not having fun, per se. I like how the subtext there is that reading books is not fun. Whoops. I'm gonna go behind this plant. Look at that, got 3. And then you have a third group, which would be your control, which would just be completely bored the whole time. They would be asked to do nothing and to alert the people to the tests, the MythBusters, when they thought an hour had passed or 20 minutes or however long they decided to do. I'm gonna go wide for this 3. It's not worth it. I should have gone around the outside of that. Oh well, I'll get a couple of these. It'll be worth it. Oh wow, there's a lot of boxes on this track. I like it. It makes the Relic races interesting. And because I firmly believe that the old adage is true, and that the people who were having fun, for them, time would fly. They would perceive time as moving much more slowly than it actually was, which would be flying. That was not worth 2 seconds, Mr. Plant. Your box is a lie. Because the whole expression, time flies when you're having fun. I can go for this. Why not? Oh, I was never going to make that. I still have time to finish the lap, which doesn't, that's all that matters. I feel like there was a CTR token way out there on that side of the track, too. Oh, I am getting to the point where it's going to be close. Oh, I actually got up there. I was too timid. I decided to cut back off in case it didn't make it. Yeah, so time flies when you're having fun means that you think it's only been 5 minutes when really it's been 20 minutes. So when they said it was 20 minutes, it would actually have been much longer. And then the people who were bored would think that it was taking forever, and so they would call time after only a few minutes instead of waiting the whole time. I really wish they would do that. I feel like they would totally get a result, and it would be, I mean, it might not be a very exciting episode, especially the group that's just doing nothing. But they did the Cabin Fever episode, which was basically just 2 days of doing nothing. So I think this is totally MythBusters material. If you agree with me, you should send them a letter. Send them an email. Be like, hey, you should do the adage time flies when you're having fun. I even have an experimental design lined up for you. And if they get 7,600 some emails, they all say the same thing. They have to do it, right? Isn't that how it works? Oh, man.
Great. You've earned a relic.
That finishes up the relics for World 2. I don't know why we have 13 relics. That doesn't make sense at all. We should have 12, because we've done Worlds 1, 2, and 3. Each one has 4 relics, that's 12. Where's the extra relic coming from? Oh, Turbo Track, right. That makes sense. Okay, I'm just gonna go through World 3 in order to get to World 4. Probably the fastest way. This is a racing game, after all. So all these are done. You can look on the map and see that all these circles for where the tracks are red, which indicates that we have gotten everything there is to get from those tracks. And then when we get into World 4, you'll see that they'll be yellow, I believe, which indicates that there are goals which you have yet to achieve in those tracks. It could be anything. Yeah, so you see the red one up here, which is the, what do you even call it? The specialty track. It isn't actually a race. And then the rest are yellow, indicating there's still stuff for us to do. Yeah, so the whole reason I talked about that time thing is because I was talking about the days of the week. And if time flies when you're having fun, that can sort of explain why the weekends feel so short. And the week feels oh so long. Because you tend to have more fun on the weekends, wouldn't you agree? Unless you really like your job. I mean, what am I saying? Alright, I was about to utter the phrase, I like my job. Which, in the strictest definition of the term, is not true. But I do have some good news, which I guess is the reason I've been thinking about. Wow, I totally blew that jump. That was bad. Which I guess is the reason I've been thinking about this whole weekdays thing in this video, which is shortcut time. I'm gonna make it. Yeah, right on the edge. Nice. I don't even need the boxes for this. This will be like a platinum run. I got a raise today. Woo! I got a raise! I'll make more money now! it's not huge, but it's enough that I kind of went, hey, that's cool, awesome. I mean, I was already making decent money, and now I'm making decent money plus a little bit, which is nice. It feels good. It's like somebody gave you an ice cream sundae, and you were like, that's a very nice ice cream sundae, thank you very much. I'll come into work 8 hours a day, 5 days a week if you keep making those sundaes for me. And then they said, you're such a good employee, we're going to put a cherry on top. And you're like, I love cherries! It's... Oh god, I'm doing analogies again. I don't even mean to! That's just how I think. When I want to explain... Oh, I missed the jump again! This is criminal! That's just how I think. When I want to explain something to somebody, I come up with an analogy, and that's how I explain things. I'm going to make it again. Nice. If I get all 3 of them, I'm definitely going to get Platinum Relic. Yeah, so, you know, it's like your ice cream sundae now has a cherry on top. And how cool is that, right? Super awesome. So I'm in a great mood. I got a raise. Very good. And that's why I'm in such a good mood today. I've been in a great mood ever since. It was right at the end of the workday too. So I was singing along to the radio in the car home and just oh man. It made me feel like I had a really good day. Do you ever have something really good happen? No, of course not. Don't answer that. Do you ever have something really good happen and then you feel good about everything and not just about the thing that happened? Like you might get a raise at work and suddenly feel like your marriage is happier or something. I'm gonna get the 3 on this lap. Yeah! Huh! You know, just as an example, I'm not married, but I feel like that's something that happens. You're happy, and the reason that you're happy gets a little bit lost if you're happy enough to forget it. Oh yeah, I'm getting boxes on this last lap. How did I miss that 3 the first 2 times by? I must not have even seen it. If I see a box with a 3 on it, I go for it. That's just a general rule. People are going to be leaving boxes with 3s on them all across the country. And someday I'm going to stumble upon one. I'm going to have to open it. It's just, I got to go for it. Please be platinum. Yeah, baby. By 10 seconds. Man, I can't imagine how much time that shortcut saves compared to the boxes, though. So I wonder... Yeah, I got to wonder if going around is that much faster, considering how many of the time-saving crates there might be on the other part of the track. But think about the part that you skip with that shortcut. It's the part with the really long jumps, where you go out into space for a bit. I feel like the boxes would not make up for that. You'd have to have a very fast run and get all the boxes, I think, to get the platinum without using the shortcut. Just my estimation.
Great. You've earned a relic.
Alright, 3 more. I guess I'll do hot air speedway since it's right here. Dang it. This track always trolls me, whether it's trying to get into the entrance or trying to win one of the races on it, not falling off the edge. Just every time, man. Hot air speedway just gives me a hard time. But yeah, that's how I was feeling today. It's like after I got my raise, I was like, all of a sudden my relationship with my coworkers is amazing. They're all my buddies, and the drive home, the traffic was not a big deal. I didn't even care. I walk into my apartment and I'm like, this is a really nice apartment. Just when you're in such a good mood that it spills over into things that are completely unrelated to the reason that you're in a good mood, you know you're having a good day. And that's what happened today. Okay. That's enough talking about that. I'm gonna be sad again. I have to get back into my poncho face, where I'm just depressed all the time. Barely made that jump. Just barely. But it was close. I knew I was gonna make it, though. Just how I was able to start saying the word barely before I made it. There's actually a shortcut on this track where you hop over that fence that I just drove past and you go on the upways part of the track. I have not been able to do that one. I can do the one in Oxide Speedway pretty well, which is cool because that's the one where you fight the final boss, and if you can get the shortcut, you have a great chance of beating the boss. I'm gonna go off the track. I could tell I was out of sync. No, I was out of sync, but I was also out of control for a bit there. As soon as it started to happen. Oh look, 3 boxes. Oh, you have to jump to get that last one. Alright, that's fine. It looked like they were lined up so that you'd be able to just ride right through it. Guess not. I still feel like that's the fastest way to go through that corner, using the power brake. The actual, I guess it's like the parking brake on this cart. I don't know. Okay, let's talk about go-karting. There's actually a go-kart track not very far from my apartment. It's a company called Andretti. I don't know if it's a chain or if they just have this one location, but they have a building with go-karts in it, and I've never been there. I've never gone in. I don't know anyone who's ever gone in, but it's go-karts. It has to be fun, right? I mean, surely a day spent in go-karting cannot be a bad day, right? But I also get the sneaking. This fence right here. You can hop over to go up on that part of the track. Cuts off about half a lap. Pretty significant. All the speedrunners can do it. Although I think it's one of the more finicky shortcuts because you have to basically glitch hop over the fence. Anyway, I don't know anybody who's been in Andretti, but oh, that was really close to the edge of the track. I imagine it would be fun because it's go-karts, right? And it's like driving with none of the consequences. Because if you drive fast and crazy in a real car, it's fun, it's exciting, it's thrilling, it's terrifying, and then you get a ticket or you die. Or you're fine. Sometimes. Whereas if you go crazy in a go-kart, I mean, the worst thing that's going to happen is you bump into a wall and maybe you can twinge your neck a little bit, but you'll be fine. It's not a big deal. But so go-karts is just, like I said, it's like driving with none of the consequences. It's all fun and games until someone pokes an eye out, and then it's hilarious. I don't know why I started talking about go-karting. Probably just been playing this racing game. I have wild ideas for LPs sometimes where, you know, what if I made an episode where I did this? That would be funny. For example, I've thought about making an episode where I wrote down all my commentary in advance, and I was only allowed to say a certain set of phrases, which I had predetermined. One of them, you know, it would be shenanigans, what's up my pilots, that was weird, stuff like that. It'd be kind of like an episode of Whose Line Is It Anyway? This the game they play where each person is only allowed to say 2 different phrases, and they have to try and have a conversation that makes a modicum of sense and produces a forward-moving plot. Because there's one person who can say anything once, but the other players all have to just stick to their phrase book, just 2 phrases. So for an LP, with no one to help me and make it coherent, I decided it would be just too weird. It wouldn't even be funny, it'd just be strange. And so I've never actually attempted that. But there's another one where I do commentary on my commentary, which I have not figured out how I could make that work, because it seems like I could just do an episode with commentary, and then I would watch that episode and pause it whenever I had something to say about the commentary, and maybe make the video go black and white, so you know when it's the first round of commentary and when it's the commentary on the commentary. But then I kind of thought, well, that would take a 15-minute video and make it like 35 minutes or longer, because there's so much of the secondary content that the game would be paused like half the time.
You earned a relic.
And I figured, well, it's a Let's Play. It's about a video game, so I probably shouldn't have the game paused all the time. Claimed that it's a video about video games. So I've never tried that one either. But they're ideas. They're out there, you know. I had another one too. I can't remember it now. Oh yeah, back when I was in college, I always wanted to do an episode where I spoke entirely in German and subtitled the episode, just because there's such a strong German presence on YouTube. There are a whole lot of German YouTubers. Look at all the boxes behind the beginning of the track, man. And when I say there are a whole lot of German YouTubers, I'm referring to content creators, not subscribers. Because obviously, there's more Americans than anybody else on YouTube, as far as I know. I don't think China has free and open access to YouTube, as far as I know. I'm not sure on that. Don't quote me, but I'd put $5 on it. I'm pretty sure. And so there's probably not a huge presence for China on YouTube. And then after that, it's pretty much, like Russia, India, United States, the other really large populous countries. And I feel like the United States, I'm barely making it. More than any other, probably has the hugest subscribership presence on YouTube, where if you've got 1 million subscribers, like 80% are Americans. Which is easy for me, because I'm an American and I can relate to Americans pretty well. I like free refills. For me, that's like the definition of being an American. Free refills. Hell yeah. Oh, look at all the boxes. I see. You have to slow down in order to collect those, because they're all right there before the start-finish line, and if you're going too fast, you go over them. That's the trick. Okay. I'll remember that. Slow down before the start-finish line on this next couple laps. I can probably get all of them, because they're all 3s, so they're totally worth slowing down for. Anyway, so the reason I wanted to do an episode in German is because, whereas most of the subscribers on YouTube are probably American for any given channel, there are a lot of content creators from Germany, which is, it's surprising considering, you know, the, whoops, right off the edge. Well done, Poncho. Considering the relative sizes of the countries, it's amazing how many German content creators there are. I was briefly subscribed to a few German channels before I realized that my skill at speaking German was so pathetic that I could get virtually nothing from their videos. Which isn't surprising when you think about it, since I've never had anyone to speak German with me. Anyway, what the hell was I trying to say? Why did I start this sentence? You ever get to that point where you're just like, what was I even thinking when I started this sentence? This makes no sense at all. There's a box really close here. Yeah, I'm gonna slow down for that. That too! Yeah! I'll go over here and get the other one. It seems like a better choice for keeping my speed. I don't know why I started saying this. Yeah, I was gonna make a video that was entirely in German, and then see if I could get it to be popular on some German, you know, networks, basically. Try and get it. See if I could get people who were actually from Germany to watch it and go, hey, this German's not half bad, which would it would be a very unlikely outcome if I were to make a video in a foreign language. The most likely outcome would be, oh my god, he's butchering our native tongue. This is embarrassing to listen to. I would fully expect that to be the result of me speaking in any language other than English. Or lead speak, I'm fluent in lead. Ooh, the 2 over there seems like a lot more work than it should be to go and get a 2. See, now I'm on the 3rd lap, it's not even worth it trying to get the boxes. As long as I hit one of them, I'll stop the clock long enough to hit the finish line. See, because the minus boxes, they don't subtract that much time off of your total. They freeze the clock for that much time. So I just hit 9 seconds worth of boxes at the end of the race, right before I finished. And so I maybe got a second of clock freezing before the race was over, and that other 8 seconds just goes to waste. The clock's frozen after the race has ended, so it doesn't matter. So if you want to get a really good score on that track, you have to try and hit as many of those boxes that are before the start-finish line on the 1st and 2nd laps. Because on the 3rd lap, it's a moot point. The race is over. One more? One more.
Great. You've earned a relic.
Just one left. I think it's Cortex Castle. Man, these games from my childhood. It's so nice to play a video game that you know really well. It's just, there's a satisfaction that comes from being familiar with it. It's like an old friend. These long videos, I gotta get something to drink halfway through. Whew! There's probably more than halfway through. There's only one race left. I'm predicting a lot of boxes behind spiders. Which is weird, because in the real world you'd find spiders behind boxes. He laughs because he thinks his pathetic joke is clever. I'm gonna go the wrong way, just see if there's any boxes over here. 1 second box? That was a waste of my time. Literally, just slow. Oh, these boxes are right on the edge. That obscured the edge a little bit for me there. I shouldn't have fallen like I did. Hop! Just barely making it. That's satisfying. There's nothing more exciting than just barely succeeding. It's where all the thrill is in life. You know? I've actually thought about this a lot. So I was thinking... Actually, it was about my ideal racquetball partner. Somebody that I could play racquetball with, where I would derive the most personal satisfaction and enjoyment from playing with them. And you might think, well, you want to play against somebody where you beat them all the time, and it makes you feel really good at the game. That would be satisfying, right? Where you win all the time because you're so much better than they are. But I don't think so. I know from school and from a couple other things in my life that if I'm not challenged by something, it just quickly becomes boring and completely unsatisfying. And so if I was going to play racquetball with somebody all the time, I wouldn't want to just totally destroy them. It would be boring. I mean, it's like a bad football game, you know? It's like your homecoming game. You know you're going to win, game's not very exciting. It's just because you beat up on this high school team, you know, like 80-12, and it's just all they could do was score field goals. They had no chance. Yeah, so stuff like that. So I thought, well, you know, if I'm gonna have my basketball partner, I don't want it to be somebody that I beat by a mile every time. So my next thought was, okay, well, what about if it's a close game every time? What if I win by 1 point? It's a competitive game, we're really neck and neck, and I pull out a victory right at the end every single time. And then I thought, well, part of the thrill of victory is the fact that it's not guaranteed that you're going to win. And so I think that if I won every time, even if it was really close, it would not be satisfying. It would still have that same problem where I wouldn't feel challenged because I would know I was going to win. So then I started to think, okay, well, how often do I want to lose? I want to lose often enough that I don't know going into a game that I'm going to win. I want there to be enough anticipation and mystery as to who's going to win that I'm interested in determining the outcome, and I don't feel bored knowing that we're going to win flat out every time. But then again, I also don't want to lose so often that I become discouraged and enjoy the game less. I haven't hit this 3 this time. There we go. I used it twice already. That wouldn't have made that jump. So then it becomes just a matter of tuning. How often do I want to lose so that I'm still engaged and yet winning consistently enough to feel like a badass? And I decided it's about 4/5 of the time. That's what I would pick for myself. I got a gold one! No shortcuts. Nice. If you can get the shortcut on that track without getting an item to boost you, you can probably get the platinum pretty easily. So I figured about 4/5 of the time. Like, if I played 5 games a day and they won 1 out of 5 and I won the other 4, I think that would be the right amount where I would enjoy it the most. I'd feel challenged, but not, you know, overly dominant. I'm getting a cutscene now. That was the last relic, and if I've done my math correctly, we have to do 1 more specialty track, and then the next episode will be the final episode of Crash Team Racing.
Great. You've earned a relic.
Lay it on me, sugar daddy. Oh, no cutscene here. Okay, I guess we'll take our exit. So I'm not totally sure if I think I remember correctly that this game is. This seems to be a trend for PlayStation 1 games, actually. You win, and then you 100% complete the game, and you win again. Because in Ape Escape, we just had an episode that I thought was going to be the finale, and then the dialogue clearly indicated that if I 100% the game, I will get the real ending. And this game, Oxide, when we beat him the first time, said, you know, I'll be back, you know, whatever. And that didn't sound like sequel talk. It sounded like 100% complete the game and we'll race again for keeps, for real this time, you know. So both games have done that. It's a little bit strange. And you know what's really funny is that the third game that I wanted to LP at the same time as these two, which I sadly wasn't able to due to emulator issues, the fact that I couldn't record it, so it wasn't the emulator's fault, was Spy Fox. And the first Spy Fox game does that same thing. You think it's about to end and the villain's gonna run off for a sequel, but really, Slide Coliseum, really, the game's not over. You have to, like, tell Spy Fox to chase after him. And if you don't do that, he gets away, and you get, like, the B ending. But if you do it, you chase after him, and you get to do this final sequence on a blimp that's actually the end of the game. And so all 3 of the games that I had chosen and enjoyed from my childhood, they all have a false ending that encourages you to continue playing, 100% finish it, you know, go all out, and get the real ending. Which is just, it seems interesting, isn't it? It's just, I had just realized that now. Just as I was saying it, I remembered about... Oh, nope, not quite. Just as I was saying it, actually, I remembered about Spy Fox 2. That's 3 for 3. I did not realize that when I was picking those games. And for those of you who actually want to slow down a little bit, the reason I didn't make that first jump is because I ran into the tire and bounced straight up. If you're going slow enough, you arc just enough that you go over the tire. So as you can see, Slide Coliseum looks a lot like Turbo Track, except without all the turbo stuff, and less tires in the middle of the road. Which, you know, you may or may not prefer, depending on your preference for tires. I don't know if you're a tire sexual. That doesn't even make sense, man. Stop saying things like that. And it's a free! So obviously this is a track with high potential. Oh, I blew it that time. I missed the jump. I jumped a little bit early. And that... Oh! That's a nice little boost. I jumped a little bit early, and that ruined my momentum for the actual jump. Oh well. Oh, I should have power slided. You know that English is actually regularizing itself? It's a very non-regular language, meaning there's a lot of verbs and idioms and things that just don't make sense when you compare them to other parts of the language. For example, verbs that in the past tense make changes that are non-standard. For example, when you have a verb and you want to go into past tense, you add ed. You know, walk, walked, jog, jogged. Just you add ed on the end. That's pretty much the rule for maybe 80 to 85% of verbs. But sometimes you get a weird one, like swim. Get on that tire, Crash! Ah! Like swim. You swim and then you swam. So rather than changing the ending, you change the letter in the middle, which is very much a German thing. That's how a lot of, actually pretty much all of German verbs, when they go into past tense, and I think some in Spanish as well do the same thing. Spanish does it a lot, if I remember correctly, where the letter, the vowel in the center of the verb changes for different tenses, whereas the vowel at the end changes for different persons, which is interesting comparison. Anyway, English is regularizing itself. Our verbs that change letters in the middle, it's becoming, more and more often, it's becoming correct to leave the letter alone and add ed. For example, in the comments, tell me what the past tense of the word dream is, as a verb. As in, tonight when I sleep, I will dream about filming the final episode of this LP. So what's the past tense of the word dream as a verb? Tell me in the comments. If you listen to what I was saying just now, you'll know that there are two answers, but still, I want to see what people think about this. So thanks for watching. I will see you guys in the next episode of Let's... Actually, I shouldn't do the outro yet. I don't know if we're going to get a cutscene here or not.
So, you're back, and you've gathered all my time relics. I'm impressed. Well, it's about time I taught you a real lesson in speed. This race is for keeps.
Ha ha ha! Next time on Let's Play Crash Team Racing.